Tabatas. Here is our first Tabata interval, and we're going to do 4 movements in each of the 4 Tabata cycles that we do today, all right? So the first movement is going to be a basic squat, and all we're going to do there is you can put your hands on your waist. What I want you to concentrate on doing is sitting back so that you don't put pressure on the knees, but rather keep those knees to where they do not extend in front of the toes. So you're just going to sit down and come right back up. Now, in a Tabata interval, we want to pick up the pace as you get more comfortable with the movement. So it'll end up being a pretty good little rhythm where you get about 1 every second as you progress. Now, I want you to start slow and work your way up to that, but eventually we'll get to the point where we're doing a pretty good pace with the squats. Okay, so that's your first movement, a basic squat. Now, the second movement following up from the basic squat will be what's called a mountain climber. I'm going to show you 3 ways to do the mountain climber. And the beginner, or the most basic way to do that is putting your hands on the wall, staggering your stance, and then alternating with your feet right and left. Okay? Now, if you want to slow that down and step, if you need to start even slower, you can do that. All right, the intermediate way to do that would be to go onto a chair, or I know they've got the couches there in the conference room or the break room there in New York City. So you can use the couch if you want to go over a little bit further. Put your hands on the couch, and then again that same movement with your legs coming in towards your chest. Same thing if you need to step rather than jump with it. That's absolutely fine. Okay, the third and more advanced way to do that is to go all the way to the ground and alternate like that. So those are 3 beginner, intermediate, and advanced ways to do the mountain climber. Okay, the third movement in this first Tabata series is going to be a push-up, and we're going to do a wide grip push-up to begin. What I mean by wide grip is I want you to go more than shoulder distance apart. So you'll take the hands out wide, and then we're just going to do a push-up. Now, I would rather you do the form correctly and get more repetitions and start on your knees just to get the position correct and work that way rather than starting on your feet and just getting a small range of motion. So really focus on that form when you're doing the push-ups. Now, if you want to do it off of a bench or that couch, that is fine. You can do it on your knees, bringing your chest to the bench or the couch and pushing up. That's perfectly fine. If you want to do it on the floor, again with that wide grip, pushing down and up, that's great with that wide grip in this first Tabata cycle. Now, if you want to do the more advanced, you would go on your feet, about 12 inches in front of you to keep a good neutral spine, and do your push-ups that way. Now, the same principle applies that we talked about earlier in the cycle with the squats. I want a pretty good pace going. We're trying to hit maximum intensity, but maximum intensity is relative to the individual. So don't overdo it. Listen to your body. Know its limitations, okay? All right. The fourth and final movement in the first Tabata cycle is an abdominal plank. So what we're going to do there is bring your arms out in front. And it's easier when you bring your hands together, so I don't want you to do that. I want you to take your arms straight to the side, and you're going to make a straight line with the navel coming up into the spine, tightening through the abdomen, and again looking about 12 inches in front of you, and that'll help keep a neutral spine from the head all the way down. Now, if you need to modify that, you can drop the knees with the feet up and hold that same position in the plank, and that would be a more beginner level or modified position, okay? So those are our first 4 movements in our first Tabata cycle. Now we'll move on to the second one.